Self-titled, 10 tracks, 47 minutes, the debut album, the US 5-piece, released June 2018 via EMP label group, produced by Mike Bolenbach. 2 promo tracks have been released in Now and Howl. This band is led by Alice Cooper's son Dash, and this album features appearances from his father and Joe Perry. Brendan.
This is some big, bad, dirty rock and roll. Lots of swagger.
Yeah.
And look, there's obviously some good genetics here, and you can hear that coming through. Dash has a real cool voice, not cloning his old man by any stretch. You can hear the influence, but it's not overpowering when you're just going, okay, now he's just ripping off the old man.
Yeah, he's stepping out of the shadow there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool album cover too, for those people that still give a shit about cover art.
I do. I agree with that. Yeah, it's a bit different.
I think it's really cool. The whole album is a real sort of heavy-hitting sound, it's all very driving guitars and drums. Even the slower tracks I find deliver a pretty big punch. They're not reinventing the wheel in any way, but when the wheel's this cool, you don't really have to. This is that big American sound you'd probably expect it to be and what you're used to. But it rocks. It's got some blues. It's got some southern rock to it. And
pick up on that as well.
Lots of swagger and groove. I thought it was pretty cool. Big sort of wall of sound kind of thing, which, I was curious whether or not that would shit you or not, because it does from time to time. We're about to find out. But there was a lot to like here. I really enjoyed it. I'd be curious to see how well it's received and sort of where he'll go next. I gave it 8 out of 10. The highlights were Sleep, Old Scratch, Never Whisper the Truth, and Howl.
Okay. Cool. Like Brendan said, let's get the bleeding obvious out of the way firstly. So yes, this does feature Alice Cooper's son on vocals, but the material on offer here sounds nothing like Alice Cooper. This is modern rock featuring very heavy riff-driven songs that burst out of the gates from the very first note and really don't let up for the whole album. Basically, this is what a modern band like Shinedown, as an example, should or would sound like if they had any balls about them left at all. Having said that, this is still an album that I struggled a little bit with. I'd go from really getting into it 1 minute, really liking it, and then the next minute thinking, God, okay, wrap it up. So I don't know what that was. For me, it was kind of hard to pinpoint why that was the case, but I think I kind of worked it out. I think at times it sounds a lot like a lot of the older bands that I really got into for a while there. So like things like Stone Temple Pilots that were in there. I heard Soundgarden, as mentioned, early era Shinedown. I can hear all that kind of stuff and I really like it. So there was that whole modern band doing the nostalgia kind of thing, which I thought that was pretty cool. Then the drawback for me is that every song in here to me sounded like almost everything before it and before and after it, to be honest. I listened to it quite a few times, and whilst I enjoyed bits and pieces of it, if I had to describe what I thought of the album as a whole, I'm inclined to say it really doesn't really sound like, it does sound like, like really one long song. I mean, I couldn't really differentiate it at the end of it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the performances of the band here at all. I think Dash is a great singer, and the band as a whole is on point, and especially one thing I picked out of this was the bass player. The bass playing on this is bloody awesome. So when's the last time someone said that?
Not often.
Yeah, but overall I think the album is just like, it's in one gear from start to finish with, as far as I could tell, not too much texture to it over the course. I do have to say though that the credit he has to go to Dash for not taking the easy option of just trying to emulate his old man and ride his coattails, and by writing his kind of songs in his style. The album is definitely not targeted at Alice's audience, and you can tell they've kind of branched out and tried a whole new target market sort of thing. So you have to give them credit for that. I just feel that they could have mixed it up a little bit more and probably showed a few more sides of their musical boat, so to speak. But it's the first album, so give them a break. Who knows what's coming up from it? The talent is definitely there. Songs like Overdrive, Secret Scars, and my favourite track, I think, was Opener, Howl. They're definitely worth checking out to gauge what this band is all about. Band definitely has the makings of a solid band in the future. I just think they need to find their own sound and maybe mix it up a little bit, because to me this is like a tad too one-dimensional as it is right now. Definitely an album and sound that I think is geared towards the fans of modern bands like Shinedown, Stone Sour, Theory of a Dead Man, and maybe Five Finger Death Punch. So if you like that kind of stuff, this is definitely an album that it's worth your while and time investigating a little bit further. So I couldn't decide if I should give it a 5 or 6 out of 10, so I'm splitting the difference, giving it a 6.5.
6.5 or 5.5?
Oh, 5.5. So And I am.
He's an accountant. We did say this earlier.
I'm a Greek accountant.
And I failed Year 9 maths and Year 10 maths.
Yeah, but I'm a Greek accountant, so I added the Greek services tax to it. It's not bad, but not great. It's there. But yeah.
All right. I think we've all spoken about Dash and his voice. It's very different to his father. It's got that real bourbon-soaked, gravelly vocal, but it's got great ability and a great sense of melody.
Yeah.
It's a heavy rocking kind of record, bit of a southern feel to it, which I picked up on as well. It's got some nice swing going on, and there's some nice chunky riffs, rumbling bass, pounding drums, all that sort of stuff on this. It's got swagger, like you were talking about. It's a cool record. Little touches of grunge influences, which I think we were talking about the Stone Temple Pilots and stuff. Nothing big, just little hints of it. Very modern heavy rock as a general rule. The production overall I found a little bit muted, which is that soundwall thing you were talking about. The guitars are back a touch, but brought forward at the right moments. The rest of it seems driven by the drums and the bass, with vocals coming through nicely. Tight sounding record, but there is some depth and space nicely applied at the right times. The guitar solos are a good example of that. When they come through, there's heaps of space on the guitar solo. It's just not enough on the rest of the mix overall per se. But there are some nice little production tricks applied to this. The reverb and panning switches are nicely complemented by the performance shifts, especially vocally, so Dash gets more credit for that. All in all, it is dense, but they haven't fallen too far into loudness war effect, which is nicely balanced. Nice diversity and tempo changes, I thought, between the songs. They've also got to complement, or I've got to compliment the use of space within the songwriting, in my opinion. They've really allowed for things to cut through and accent points in the songs nicely. They just have little stops and starts and stuff to really break things up for you. But I thought it was really easy to see any of these songs being used as like the theme music for a wrestling pay-per-view.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Yeah. So that's the kind of market we're looking at for this kind of music. Nice use of melodies, as I said, but some good hooks in there as well. Nice little style switches in the songs do break up and listen. I thought it was well written, and the track order was well done as well. And there's great performances across the board. This is a tight band with some solid writing under their belt. It's not groundbreaking, but if you like American modern heavy rock done right, then you should give this a spin. It's actually good how different this is to Alice Cooper's stuff. I really do admire that. It's a great way to step out of the shadows, so to speak. And I love how there's a little touch of stone rock on this as well. It's just little bits and pieces. It's when you get really stuck into it, there's a lot more to it than you sort of think on the first listen. Lots of well done subtle touches give this some unexpected yet well done ear candy as well, especially for the headphones. I found that. Some damn cool lyrics on this. Some nice softer touches showcase the diversity and talent as well. And there are some tasty guitar solos on this. I found they must be mentioned, and I love their groove. Overall, it could use a little more light in the mix, a touch more top end in the heavier parts. Like what they did with the more melodic, like did it for the melodic parts of the album, but they didn't do it for the rest of the album. It's like if you'd applied that approach to the rest, it would have sounded fucking fantastic. To minor gripe, this is a very cool record, well worth checking out. 8 out of 10. Asleep, Old Scratch, Condemned, Secret Scars, and Never Whisper the Truth were my standouts. Are we crossed over?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Here we go, back to our regular programming. Check that out for yourselves and let us know what you think. Give us some diversity, folks.